My beloved child, a great joy is quietly finding its way toward your home, carrying an answer to what has been delayed for far too long and the relief your heart has earnestly longed to receive. I want you to listen with calmness, not with panic, and not with the fear that one moment of delay will cause something good to disappear, but with the trust of someone who has endured enough to understand that precious things are often prepared in silence. There are movements you cannot yet see, doors that have not yet made a sound, and answers that have not yet been given a name, but they are still drawing near. What you believed had been forgotten is actually being rearranged in a deeper way, so that when it appears, it will not merely bring you a brief moment of happiness, but lasting change throughout your life. I know that your home has witnessed many things no outsider has ever known. Those walls have heard your sighs after days when you tried to appear strong, held the tears you did not want anyone to see, and watched you remain awake late into the night because of questions about the future. There were nights when your body lay still, but your mind could not rest because you worried about family, work, money, and those you love. You wondered how much longer you would need to keep trying, how many more seasons of waiting you would have to endure before seeing a sign that circumstances were beginning to change. I saw it all. Not one quiet concern was dismissed, and not one effort to rise while exhausted was forgotten. The place that once held heavy days will become a place that receives good news, because I can make the very ground once soaked with tears fertile for a new beginning. You once believed that what was good within you had almost been extinguished by life. You trusted wholeheartedly, but promises that were not kept made you cautious. You opened your arms, but some people came only to receive and left when you needed support. You nurtured beautiful dreams, yet prolonged delay caused you to make them smaller so that you would not suffer another disappointment. But, my child, what has been wounded is not the same as what has died. During the days when you thought you were merely surviving, a new strength was quietly forming. You learned what deserves your love, what requires boundaries, and what must be released. You became deeper without needing to display it, stronger without losing gentleness, and wiser while still preserving a heart capable of compassion. Therefore, the surprise approaching you is not meant only to change an outward circumstance. It will also confirm that the years you passed through were not meaningless. It may be an answer you have awaited for a long time, an opportunity appearing when you have nearly stopped searching, restoration within your family, or a new direction that eases a financial burden. It may also arrive in a humble form, a timely conversation, a willing hand of assistance, an idea being awakened, or a decision that brings peace after months of confusion. Do not search only for something so spectacular that it astonishes the whole world. The deepest changes often begin with a small door. Yet behind that door is a wide road you had never been able to see before. I know you still carry the fear that something good may leave again, because instability became familiar. You often prepare yourself for loss, even when joy has only just appeared. When a door opens, you fear it will soon close. When someone treats you sincerely, you wonder when they will change. When life becomes peaceful, you worry that another crisis is approaching. But my beloved child, you cannot enter a new season while still breathing according to the rhythm of the old one. I am teaching you to receive without trembling, to be grateful without holding on desperately, and to enjoy what is good without continually predicting when it will end. The past may explain why you are cautious, but it does not have the right to decide that your future must repeat everything that happened before. People around you may not understand why you are beginning to change so quickly. They see only the door opening, not how long you stood waiting before it. They see your relief, but not the nights when you had to comfort yourself. They see you walking steadily, but do not know how many times you gathered courage from the shattered pieces of disappointment. You do not need to explain everything. Do not exhaust your new joy by trying to persuade people who see only the result and do not understand the journey. Remain humble. Continue living kindly, and allow the peace within you to tell the story. Genuine change does not require great declarations. It is recognized in the way you become more stable, more grateful, and less easily pulled back into old patterns before something new enters. However, you must also make room within yourself. Lay down the accusations from the past that you still carry. Do not continue calling yourself a failure merely because certain things have not yet succeeded. Do not believe you are unworthy because someone once failed to value you. Your worth is not reduced by another person's behavior, and your ability does not disappear simply because it remained unseen for a long time. Some seeds must remain deep beneath the ground before they gain enough strength to rise through heavy soil. You are the same. What is forming within you needs time to take root, so that you will not only enter an opportunity, but also know how to preserve it, develop it, and use it for good purposes. I want you to prepare through both faith and wisdom. Complete unfinished work. Put your life in order. Keep your commitments, and care for what has already been entrusted to you today. If an offer appears, do not let excitement prevent careful examination. If a financial opportunity comes, seek clarity, read carefully, and do not decide under pressure. If a relationship is restored, observe change through actions rather than listening only to beautiful promises. Genuine goodness will not require you to abandon dignity, hide the truth, or exchange your peace. I did not lead you out of a heavy season so that you could enter another trap decorated with an attractive appearance. The path I open always walks with light, order, and freedom. You do not need to write anything in a comment section for heaven to know that you are ready. I do not measure your trust through a button or a sentence written in an emotional moment. Readiness is revealed when you change the way you live. Stop delaying what is right, and refuse to return to places that once depleted you. It appears when you learn to say no to what is unhealthy. Ask for help when the burden exceeds your strength, and receive something good without feeling guilty. Every upright choice is a deeper yes than any outward performance. The angels are not waiting for you to prove yourself through words. What is seen is your honesty, your courage, and the way you use your freedom. The surprise approaching you will touch a place you have carefully hidden. It may be the fear that you are not capable of caring for your family, the worry that you have come so far, yet still have not reached where you hope to be, or the question of whether your efforts will truly produce results. You did not speak these things because you did not want others to worry. You continued smiling, working, and becoming a source of support. But deep within you, often wished someone would tell you that you did not have to carry everything alone. Today, I remind you of this. You have not been abandoned. Help may come through people, opportunities, and very practical means. Be humble enough to receive it, Do not reject a sincere hand merely because you have become accustomed to solving everything by yourself. When something new begins to appear, remember why you asked for it. If abundance comes, do not allow it to distance you from those who are struggling. If a new position is entrusted to you, use your influence to support rather than control. If you are vindicated, do not turn the truth into a weapon to humiliate those who misunderstood you. The most beautiful restoration is not making someone else regret what they did, but being able to move forward without bitterness. What is placed into your hands becomes more precious when it passes through a humble heart. I do not want only to bless you. I want you to become a place through which blessing can continue flowing toward others. Therefore, my beloved child, keep your home filled with peace and your heart open. Do not stand at the door believing joy has come to the wrong person. Do not think that you must suffer more before deserving relief. You have traveled far enough to understand the value of what is approaching. I, Michael, remain beside you to remind you that what has been delayed has not necessarily been taken away. Unanswered questions do not mean that you have been forgotten. And doors that once closed cannot prevent every new path from appearing. When the surprise enters, receive it with gratitude, awareness, and a heart no longer held captive by the past. Then you will understand that the greatest thing is not merely the burden being lifted from your shoulders, but that you have become someone steady enough to enter joy without fear. My beloved child, at this moment you are standing before a great transition, not to be pressured by the fear of missing out, but to recognize that difficult months have prepared you for a deeper beginning. I want you to remain in this stillness, not because a button or comment can determine your blessing, but because some words take root only when you give yourself enough time to listen and reflect. If what you are receiving could support someone quietly falling apart, you may share it sincerely, but do nothing from fear that grace will be taken from you. What belongs to the light does not coerce you. Place love upon a scale, or turn peace into a reward for an outward action. I only ask that you do not rush back into noise before recognizing what is truly changing within you. Perhaps today you feel a more serious prompting than usual. In the middle of familiar responsibilities, something within you suddenly slows down. A deep awareness tells you that you cannot continue living in the same way. You may not yet know how to name it, but you recognize the difference. Conversations that once held your attention now feel empty. Cycles you once accepted now leave you exhausted. And questions about the future return with greater weight. Do not fear this movement. You are not losing direction. You are being awakened from a rhythm in which you existed without truly living. Remained busy while far from what mattered, and were always present for everyone while rarely present for yourself. The prayers you believed had disappeared into silence were not forgotten. Yet the answer may not appear in the form you once imagined. You asked for a door to open, but first, I had to help you release the key to the old one. You asked for a healthy relationship, but first, you needed to stop calling instability love. You asked for abundance, but first, I had to teach you to establish boundaries with people who continually receive without accepting responsibility. You asked to enter a new season while attempting to carry every habit, fear, and attachment from the season that had already ended. Therefore, some answers arrive through removal, and some prayers are answered by leading you out of what you once believed you could not live without. I know the delays have exhausted you. You watched other people progress, and wondered why your road seemed so winding. There were days when you did everything within your power, yet the result did not change. There were nights when you tried to preserve faith, while only a thin thread of hope remained within you. You wondered whether pain truly carried meaning, whether loneliness was preparing anything, or whether it was simply an emptiness that would continue forever. Today, I am not telling you to be grateful for every wound. Some things should never have happened to you, but I want you to know that even what was unjust does not possess the authority to steal your future. I can use what remains after broken days and transform it into discernment, compassion, and strength that needs no display. Look again at the storms you survived. Someone left without offering an explanation. A promise once gave you hope, but eventually disappeared. There were moments when you had to lift yourself, while the person you believed would support you turned away. You passed through days when others saw only outward silence and did not understand the battle required for you to awaken. Work, and keep your heart from becoming bitter. Those trials exhausted you, but they did not end you. You are still here. And your presence today is proof that what tried to destroy your faith did not complete its purpose. I watched every time you held back tears until no one remained near. I saw you try to appear normal so that you would not become a burden. I know the responsibilities you carried while your heart wanted only to rest. But, my beloved child, you do not need to continue proving strength through silent suffering. A new timeline does not begin only with outward change. It begins when you stop treating exhaustion as normal. It begins when you allow yourself to say honestly that you are tired. Seek appropriate support. Stop giving all your strength to what only takes from you. And choose peace, even when that choice disappoints certain people. The cycles that once held you are gradually losing their authority. You will notice that you no longer feel compelled to return and explain yourself to those who have already decided not to understand. You no longer need to chase a relationship merely because you fear loneliness. Provocations that once caused an immediate reaction now make you pause and observe. This is a sign that freedom is growing within you. Freedom does not mean the past disappears from memory. It means memory no longer controls your decisions. Freedom does not mean everyone treats you correctly. It means their behavior no longer causes you to betray the values you want to preserve. The turning point approaching will not touch only one area, because every part of your life is connected. When you heal the way you understand your worth, you will choose love differently. When you learn to manage emotion, you will make wiser financial decisions. When you establish boundaries, time and strength will be returned so that you can invest in what carries meaning. When you stop living in a constant expectation of disaster, creativity and hope will awaken. Deep change does not merely give you a gift, it helps you become someone who knows how to receive, preserve, and use what is good responsibly. Do not wait for a mystical door to open on its own while ignoring the practical steps directly before you. Today's door may be a call you need to make, a document you need to complete, a habit you need to begin, or a connection where you need to establish a firm boundary. The turning point may not arrive like thunder. It may appear as the quiet decision that you will no longer return to the old cycle. Every time you choose what is healthy over what is familiar, a new road is being built. Every time you keep a promise to yourself, the inner foundation becomes stronger. Great things often begin through small actions repeated consistently. I am not saying that every difficult season has disappeared forever or that you will never face another challenge. But a season of exhaustion can end when you stop participating in what created it. You cannot prevent every wind, but you can build a different foundation. You cannot control another person's choices, but you can decide who is permitted to come near your life. You cannot change the years that have passed, but you can stop allowing them to write the remainder of the story. This is the authority I want you to reclaim, not power over every circumstance, but the ability to remain calm and choose what is right in the middle of what is still imperfect. Therefore, my beloved child, remain with the clarity appearing within you. Do not allow a powerful emotion to last only a few minutes and disappear when you return to former habits. Turn what you have recognized into a specific choice. Rest when you need to rest. Release what has completed its season. Speak when truth needs to be expressed. And remain silent when an argument only seeks to pull you away from peace. You have traveled too far to continue living like someone who does not know their worth. The new road begins not because an outward miracle suddenly solves everything, but because you are becoming wise enough to stop building the future through choices that once caused pain. I, Michael, remain beside you as you leave the old cycles. I will remind you who you are when doubt returns. I will teach you to recognize the difference between the right door and a distraction decorated beautifully. I will help you preserve gentleness without becoming easy to exploit. Forgive without returning to what is unsafe. And hope without surrendering judgment to empty promises. What is approaching first is your own restoration, a person more peaceful, clearer, and less easily redirected by outward circumstances. When that restoration takes root, every area connected to your life will begin changing in a way that is steady, healthy, and lasting. My beloved child, your pause before these words is not merely an accidental moment, because within this very time you are being reminded that one good choice you made recently created a deeper influence than you could see. It may have been a quiet act of kindness performed without any desire to be noticed, a small prayer spoken in the stillness of night, a decision to turn away from wrongdoing even while you remained wounded, or forgiveness offered to someone who once hurt your heart. You believed it was too small to be remembered. But I want you to know that no choice born from genuine love is meaningless. When you chose what was good while bitterness would have been easier, you changed not only the direction of one day, but also the way you will walk through the seasons ahead. I am Michael, and I saw the moment you prevented yourself from speaking words that would wound someone else, even though you had every reason to be angry. I saw you turn away from something that tempted you to return to an old cycle. I also saw you quietly help another person while you yourself needed support. Perhaps no one applauded. No one asked how much effort it required. And the person you forgave may not yet understand the gift they received. But the nobility of an action does not depend upon how many people witness it. What you did in secret built within you a strength that loud declarations cannot create. It is the strength of someone who refuses to let circumstances decide who they will become. You may imagine heaven becoming still and looking toward you. But do not interpret this as though all creation paused because you are more important than everyone else. The image is a reminder that your life is seen and your choices matter. You are not invisible as you once believed. The days when you struggled to keep moving, the tears you wiped away before others could see, and the times you chose integrity, even when it placed you at a disadvantage, did not disappear. They contributed to opening a new door within you, the door of maturity, where you are no longer led by the need for revenge, the need to prove yourself, or the need to satisfy everyone. The door opening before you is not necessarily a mystical passage sealed for countless years. It may be an opportunity you once lacked the confidence to receive. A healthy relationship you previously did not know how to preserve. Or a peaceful life you once believed was meant only for someone else. What remained locked the longest may not have been outside you, but within the way you understood yourself. For many years you believed you had to suffer in order to deserve love. Give until you were empty in order to be considered kind. Or keep everyone close in order to prove your worth. These locks are now being removed as you begin believing that you can be compassionate while keeping boundaries. Love without losing yourself. And forgive without returning to what is no longer safe. I know there were things taken from your hands unjustly. There were opportunities you should have received, but that were delayed. Promises made to you that others forgot. And efforts you gave while someone else's name was recognized. I do not deny that pain. Yet restoration does not always mean everything returns in the same original form. Some things will return in a better, more sustainable, and less dependent form. You may not regain the former door, but you may discover another path where your worth does not need to be negotiated. A person may not return, but you may meet people who do not require you to beg for respect. Lost time cannot be reclaimed, but the wisdom you gained can prevent future years from being wasted. What was delayed may now begin to move. But I do not want you sitting and waiting for a heavenly decree to accomplish everything on your behalf. Freedom also requires your cooperation. If you ask for a new beginning, create room for it. If you desire a better opportunity, prepare your skills and discipline so that you can enter. If you want to be treated with respect, stop returning to places that repeatedly dismiss your boundaries. The open door will have no meaning if you continue holding tightly to the handle of the old one. A blessing is not only what comes toward you, it is also the ability to recognize, receive, and preserve what is good when it appears. I also want you to remain peaceful when doubt appears. One vulnerable moment cannot cause what is good for your journey to be instantly stolen. You are not abandoned because you have one exhausted day. And you do not lose mercy because you cannot always believe as strongly as you wish. Faith does not mean that you never waver. It means you know how to return after being shaken. When fear appears, you do not need to feel ashamed. Look directly at it. Name what you are afraid of, and take the next small step calmly. What matters is not that you never fell, but that you do not choose to remain permanently where you fell. Do not allow any message to convince you that an enemy waits for one small gap in your attention to steal your entire future in one night. Genuine protection is not built upon panic. I do not want you guarding your life by fearing every thought, every moment of distraction, or every negative emotion. Guard it through wisdom. Be selective about what you receive. Avoid conversations that continually confuse you. Care for your sleep. Protect your health. And do not share important plans with people who have not demonstrated trustworthiness. Awareness does not make you tense before every possible danger. It helps you live with order so that fear can no longer easily control you. I understand why the next 24 hours may seem to carry special weight. When you have just made an important decision, every moment that follows can become a test of what you chose. But do not treat one particular day as the only gateway deciding your destiny. Every day is an opportunity to strengthen the new direction. During the day ahead, notice how you respond when the old tries to return. An unexpected message, a wave of loneliness, or a beautiful memory may tempt you to reopen a door that was closed. Remember why you left. Do not allow one vulnerable moment to erase lessons for which you paid a very high price. Your rising does not happen in isolation. When you learn to establish boundaries, people watching you may realize that they also have permission to protect themselves. When you refuse to pass bitterness onward, your family sees another way of living. When you step out of an old pattern, you open a road for those who come after you. This is why your change carries value beyond personal success. Light does not need to shout in order to guide. It needs only to continue burning consistently. You do not need to become anyone's savior, but the way you live honestly can encourage others to believe that they too can begin again. My beloved child, protect the peace forming within you, but do not turn it into isolation. Choose people who can tell you the truth without diminishing you, who rejoice when you grow and do not try to pull you back into a version that is easier to control. Stay away from voices that pressure you to hurry, panic, or prove something immediately. Goodness may arrive unexpectedly, but it does not need to manipulate you. It will give you enough room to think, enough light to see clearly, and enough peace to know that you do not have to betray your values in order to keep it. Now place your faith not only in words but also in action. Complete what you postponed. Apologize where an apology is needed. Protect boundaries where you must stand firmly, and allow what has ended to remain at rest. Receive restoration without forcing it to resemble what you lost. You do not need to fight to reclaim everything in order to prove that you have won. Sometimes, victory is recognizing that you no longer desire what belonged to the past. Sometimes, the greatest reversal is that the person who once lived in lack no longer chooses from fear. The person who once remained silent knows when to speak. And the person who was once wounded no longer allows the wound to lead. I am near you in this transformation. Not to promise that every difficulty will disappear overnight, but to remind you that one sincere decision can begin changing the entire direction of your life. The door opening first is the door within your heart. You are ready to believe that you no longer belong to the old cycles. Walk through it with humility, calmness, and gratitude. What has been prepared for you does not need fear to protect it. It needs a mature heart, a clear mind, and hands willing to carry out their responsibility. You are not standing at the center of chaos. You are standing at the threshold of a new life, where truth, peace, and courage will lead you forward together.